video, we're going to go through lesson 1 of circles. So I kind of skipped the warm-up here because it's not super important to what we're going to be talking about. So to start out with, we are going to be defining a few terms. So we're going to start with chords. So we have some examples of chords up here, and we have some examples that would not be chords down here. So we need to figure out what is a chord. How would we write a definition for a chord based on the fact that we know these are chords and we know these are not chords. So if you want to take a second to try to think about that for yourself, you can go ahead and pause the video. So I'll go ahead and talk about it. So kind of an important thing in math is having the right words to explain something. So you might be able to kind of tell, like, oh, yeah, I understand why this is a chord and why this is not a chord. But how can you articulate that with the specific, precise words that you need to use? So the definition of a chord is a line segment. And remember, a line segment is different from a line. A line goes on forever in both directions. A line segment has distinct endpoints. So we can see the distinct endpoints here. So a line segment with endpoints on the circle. And when we say on the circle, we mean on this black border here. So you might think of, like, okay, on the circle, this whole thing is the circle, like including the inside, but actually the inside is not a part of the circle itself. When we think about the area of a circle, we're really finding the area that is bounded by the circle. So when we say on the circle, we mean on this, what you might consider the border of the circle, but it actually is just the circle itself. So like this point here, that's the center, that's not on the circle itself. Any other point, like a point in here, that would not be on the circle. It has to be somewhere like that, on the circle. So the endpoints have to be on the circle for a line segment to be a chord. So moving on to the next term we're going to define is going to be arc. So we have these highlighted parts here. The bolded parts are the arc, and these are not arcs. So if you want to pause again and try to figure out how you would define an arc for yourself, you can go ahead and do that, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. So if you think about how I just explained, the circle itself is this, what you might think of as the border of the circle, even though it really is just the circle itself. So if you think about this arc, all of these are just parts of the respective circle that they're kind of on. So an arc is just a portion of a circle that's between two points that are on the circle. So between 2 points on the circle. So we can see this is just a chunk of the circle, a section of the circle with 2 points. Like it's kind of, we're kind of determining what portion of the circle are we looking at based on the 2 points here. And same thing here, same thing here. This one obviously is not a part of a circle. This is more like a parabola or something like that. And this has 2 points on the circle, but it's a line segment. It's not an actual portion of the circle itself. This would be a chord. Alright, and then we are going to define central angles. So here we have examples and non-examples. So the central angle we're looking at is like just this angle right here. That's the central angle. and then these are angles that would not be central angles. So again, you can pause if you want. So a central angle, remember we call this part of an angle, sort of the point of the angle, we call that the vertex, right? So if we're thinking about what a central angle is, and using the right words to precisely define it, a central angle is going to be an angle whose vertex is at the center of the circle. So here the vertex is right here, here the vertex is right here. This one, it is like a straight line, but this angle is just a 180 degree angle, right? So the vertex is right here. This one, vertex is on the circle. We'll talk about that in lesson 2. This one, the vertex is just somewhere inside the circle. It's not at the center. It's not on the circle. It's just a random spot inside the circle. And then this is outside the circle. So those are not central angles. Alright, so next we're going to look at